Hey guys, Stay Patient here with a quick video reviewing the digital flash sale on the European PlayStation stores. Now this is going to be quite a rushed video because I hadn't planned on making it, but I only just had a chance to take a look at the sale myself like last night and then again this morning. And what I thought I'd do is I'd sort of do some research on any of the games that I wasn't familiar with and just take you guys through it because there's loads of great stuff on here for trophy hunters. There's loads of, easy platinums, easy 100% trophy sets. And the reason I'm kind of rushing this is because it's only lasting for 4 days. And I think it's already been up for a couple of days. So it could be ending today, tomorrow, any time now. So I want to get this video up nice and quickly. Because of that, I'm not going to do my usual editing, the cleaning up of the audio and everything. So I apologize if it sounds a bit rough, but hopefully I can at least get the information across to you guys. And we can get this video up in time so that you can take a look through for yourself and maybe pick up any easy platinums that you might not have been aware of, or some of the games that we have actually spoken about before are on here. I apologize to those of you from America. I can't do anything about the fact that this sale I don't think is on the American store, but of course if you've got a UK account or any European account, you'll be able to jump on and buy these games. Now here it is, digital flash sale. We've got a lot of games to get through, so what I'm going to do is pretty much whip through. We're not going to talk much about the games, about how good they are or anything like that. We're just going to be focusing on the trophies, pointing out any that have platinums that are easy enough that most of you will be able to earn them. If I skip over any games, it's because either they're too difficult or they're not really worth focusing on for whatever reason. You guys can check them out if you want in your own time, but we're going to just kind of look at the highlights here and hopefully point out some games that you guys will be able to use to earn some easy trophies. So straight off the bat, we've got a game that I was hoping would be reduced at some point. Inside it doesn't have a platinum, but it's an awesome game. It's received 10 out of 10 review scores from almost every review site. It was too much money for me. I was thinking £16. That's like more than I wanted to spend on a non-platinum game. But I have picked it up now, $7.39, and it is an easy trophy set, a very easy trophy set. No platinum, but definitely worth playing. Soma and Abzu. Abzu is another great game, I think, that got really good reviews. One of the best, these two are basically the best two sort of indie, like digital-only games that have come out this year. In those kind of budget price bracket. And this is the same. It's got another quick, easy trophy set, but no platinum. Soma is not quite as good. I think it had a lot of potential, but, it's another easy, but slightly longer 100%. Once again, no platinum there. I Am Setsuna. This is an RPG in the style of the old kind of NES and SNES games, or SNES. It's a long game because it's an RPG, but it is an easy platinum, and it does have a platinum. So it's quite expensive though, so it's not really, it's kind of out of place on this sale. Everything's sort of £8 or cheaper, and this is 22 quid, but it's something you might want to look into if you're an RPG fan. Unravel is a game I've had for a while, not played yet. It's a relatively easy trophy set. I believe it's given a 3 out of 10 in difficulty. Some people find it trickier than others, and it's not too long either. It does have a platinum, so that's its key kind of selling point, and for $6.49, I'd say that's worth picking up. The Witness is an absolutely unbelievable game, one of the best games this year, but it does have a very hard trophy set. When it first came out, there was a glitch you could use to get the hardest trophy in the game. The majority of the trophies, in fact all of them except for one, can be earned by following guides. But with this one, with the final trophy, there are no guides you can follow because it's random. So you need to understand the puzzles and you need to be quick. It's like a timed challenge, and you've got a bunch of puzzles that are different every time you do it. So if you do follow a guide for the rest of the game, you're really shooting yourself in the foot because you're leaving yourself very underprepared. Like, you just won't understand the puzzles. So I don't recommend this for trophy hunters necessarily. I just recommend it for gamers because it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's one of my proudest platinums because I played it after the glitch had been patched, and so without that glitch now, the glitch kind of allowed you to pause the game, and you could take a screenshot of the puzzles, pause it, figure them out, and keep going. But with the new patch, you can't pause it at all. So yeah, it's like a 9 or 10 out of 10 difficulty, but it's so much fun. It's really, really good. You could play it on a blank account or something. I thoroughly recommend it. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is another easy and relatively quick 100%, I believe. No platinum there. Adrift. I'm kind of just keeping one eye on my list. I've sort of written down a list of some of the games I wanted to talk about. Most of them are ones I know offhand, I know off the top of my head, but some of them are less familiar to me. So I'm just kind of looking down. I don't think I had anything on Adrift there. I think Bound's quite difficult as well. What have we got here? I think Shadow of the Beast. This has had very varied votes on the voting thread when it comes to difficulty. It looks like a game that could be easy, but it very much depends on your skill level with 2D sort of combat related games. It's got a relatively short platinum. It is a platinum trophy set, so it's one that you might want to look into if you're sort of competent with 2D titles. Retro City Rampage, I think this is one of the games I picked up actually. This is an easy, quick platinum, 100%, not a lot more. Sorry, is it a platinum? No, sorry, it's a 100% trophy list. In fact, I might just double check that. I apologise for this, guys. There's so many games in this list. Retro City Rampage DX, yes. Okay, it's not a platinum. But it is an easy, quick 100%. Strider is a game we spoke about during the recent, top 10 that I put up, the 10 easiest free PS4 platinums, from the PS Plus Instant Game Collection. This was free, so most of you probably already got it if you've had PS Plus for more than 2 years or so. But if you haven't, this is the time to buy it. Look, $2.49. It's a really great game. It's not a super easy plat. There is some challenge to it, but it's only like a 3 or 4 out of 10. Some people do find it harder than that, so just kind of gauge it. Maybe take a look at the voting thread and just figure out which person you seem to have the most in common with when you're reading through their comments, and you'll be able to kind of gauge how difficult you're going to find it personally. But I thoroughly recommend it. I really enjoyed the game. I didn't find the platinum too difficult because it's enjoyable. You kind of don't mind that sort of level of challenge that is not too high, but it does require a bit of skill, which is good because it's an enjoyable game, and it would be boring if it was too easy. Grim Fandango, very, very easy platinum. This is one of the many point and click adventure games, so you can just follow a guide. Again, it does have a plat, so pick that up. I would. $4.99. It's take you a few hours or so. It's a bit longer than some of the other point and click adventures, but you'll get through it relatively quickly. PacMan 256. This, I believe, was an easy 100%, no platinum, but it's quite long, and I don't like, even though it's really cheap, I don't like picking up non-platinum games that take a long time because it feels like you're wasting time, not really earning many trophies. Primal Carnage Extinction is one of the other games I picked up that I didn't have before, and I hadn't actually heard of it. It looks to be an easy platinum. I'm just looking here to kind of remind myself, where are we? Yeah, it looks to be quite an easy, relatively quick platinum. There's not a huge amount of feedback on it, but yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So I think it's one that most of you will be able to get through if you fancy trying it out. Maybe take a look at some footage. We've got Never Alone. That's a very easy and quick 100% trophy set, no platinum. Counter Spy, again, this is slightly trickier. It's not really tricky. It's easy, but it's like a 4 out of 10. But it does actually look really fun. It's one of the games. It's one of the games that I've been meaning to play. I bought it ages ago, and it's got like 2 stacking trophy sets, and you can use you can use your save file from one to transfer it over to the other, and it doesn't automatically pop all the trophies, but if you upload your save at the right time, for instance, just before completing the game, and then you can complete it on the other version and you get the trophies on both, if you time it right with your uploads, then you can get both trophy sets quite easily. It doesn't have a platinum, but if you do both trophy sets, obviously you're getting more trophies from it. And it just looks a lot of fun. $3.99. Valiant Hearts: The Great War, another non-platinum 100% game. that is very easy. You can follow a guide for it or whatever. It's sort of like a point and click, although it's a 2D game as well. So yeah, it's kind of 2D platformer / point and click adventure. Strike Suit Zero, I wrote something down about this. Yeah, it's a relatively easy 100% by the looks of things, but again, no platinum as far as I can tell. Peggle is a game that I bought a while ago, and I tried it out on a blank account because I wasn't so sure about it. It gets like a 4 out of 10 in difficulty, but I just couldn't get my head around it. It seems so random. It just kind of annoyed me, so I stopped playing. So I don't recommend it, but some of you might enjoy it. I know it gets a lot of praise from the critics, but I couldn't see it. I think it's a really nice world. The music and everything's really cool, and it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of memorable, but the actual gameplay itself seems so random that there wasn't really any skill involved, which sort of cheesed me off a bit. I found it a bit annoying to play. We've not really got anything here. No, nothing there that we want to discuss. Obviously, some DLC you might have noticed for tabletop racing. Right, here we've got Sword Coast Legends. Now, this is a Dungeons and Dragons game. So it's a big RPG, sort of top-down, almost like Diablo style. And it actually looks quite good. It's got some good, reviews, got some good response from the gamers, as far as I can tell. I haven't done a lot of research on all these games, obviously, because there's literally 120 of them, and I had about an hour. I just wanted to get this video up nice and quickly. But it looks as though, from some of the taglines that they're using on the actual trailer, it looks as though it's been received fairly well. Obviously, with it being a sort of looter RPG style top-down game, it's going to be quite a long game, but it does look pretty easy, and I'm basing that on one person's. It's very odd because we're not going to look at it, but on psnprofiles.com, only one person has earned the platinum, and that is like a very, very low completion rating because there's several hundred people playing it and one person has platted it. I don't know if that's because people don't like it or because of the time requirement or what, really. But basically, the person who has platted it has left comments and a vote on the difficulty rating and the time requirement on PlayStationTrophies.org, which is really handy. And he's given it like a 2 out of 10 difficulty because he said the hard mode run through, for that, you can either, get to the final level on easy mode and then switch to hard and earn the trophy for the whole playthrough just by completing the final mission. And you can also do that in co-op because there's some co-op trophies. Or you can complete it on normal and then take all your end game gear, all your high level stuff, and give it to your new character that you start on hard. So straight away he's like overpowered and it makes it a lot easier. So it looks as though if you approach it in the right way, probably the majority of people are playing it. The majority who are playing it are probably approaching it in the wrong way. And they're just playing it straight up, legit, and they might be struggling. But if you follow this guy's advice on the voting thread, then it looks as though it's going to be an easy, albeit long, platinum. Absolute Drift is another game I picked up. This is one that's only been, started receiving feedback more recently, and it was a game I was hoping would be easy, but I assumed it would be quite difficult. But it turns out the voting thread kind of implies that it's a straightforward and quick platinum. So this is another kind of standout game from this sale that you might want to look into. Some DLC for Never Alone, get some more trophies out of that game. Coffin Dodges is a game that we've spoken about during one of our top 10s. Very easy, quick platinum, guys. Pick that one up if you're after some easy trophies. The same applies to Hitman Go. $2.49, super cheap platinum, and super easy as well. Just follow a step-by-step walkthrough and you'll have that done in no time. I think it takes around 6 hours. Same with Coffin Dodges. They're both between sort of 4 and 6 hours, I think. Now we've got Grow Up and Gone Home. They're both easy 100% games, no platinum. Gone Home's quite expensive for what it is, to be fair. It's like an hour, 2 hour long game. Grow Up looks kind of fun, same as Grow Home. That's like the sequel to Grow Home, so both of them should be easy enough, 100%, trophy list to add to your account. Soundshape's Ultimate Bundle, I'm guessing this comes with all the DLC and the PS4, PS3 and Vita versions. Yeah, okay, guys. This is an insane sort of value for trophies. This is probably the best value you'll ever get, because to those of you who aren't aware how this works, sound shapes. The platinum itself is kind of tricky. It's only like a 4 out of 10 on the voting thread, but that's because the difficulty comes from its randomness. So the RNG kind of style of the death levels. So you've got all the levels in campaign. You get one trophy for completing the campaign, and then you have to go through all these death levels, which is like a single screen, and you have to collect all these orbs and do it in a certain time limit. And some of them can be really difficult because the location of the orbs changes each time. So sometimes you get really lucky and there'll be like a whole load will spawn one after another in the same area, and you can just rack them up, and you need to get a certain amount within however long. So that works out really, really well. So eventually you will get lucky and you'll get an easy run on each level. It's not as hard as it seems like it's going to be when you first start. But the great thing about sound shapes is that firstly, once you've done the platinum, you've got a load of DLC, tons of DLC. In fact, you get more PSN points from the DLC trophies than you do from the entire platinum. Now, on top of that, you get, I think it's like 2,800 PSN points, whereas a platinum's 1,200, 1,200. So you get more than double. You get like 2.5 platinums worth of trophies from completing the full 100%. And the DLC itself is super easy. Like, it couldn't be more simple, and it's super quick as well. Literally, it's just a case of placing notes on a screen. It'd be like 5 or 6 notes to create a beat, because it's a music-based game. And you've got to do that with several dozen screens, but each one's literally like maybe 10, 20 seconds. So you get a trophy for each one, and you can just fly through that. So the DLC is super easy. The best thing about it, though, is the stacking nature of this trophy set. So you'll notice that with this bundle, you get the PS3 version, PS4, and Vita versions. Now, all three of those have separate trophy sets, okay? You also have a PS4 version from Europe and America, and also Hong Kong and Japan as well. So you've got 4 PS4 trophy sets, you've got one on PS3 and one on Vita. That's 6 in total. And you receive 3 of them by buying this, this version here, along with all the DLC. Now, the awesome thing is that all of the trophies auto pop on any other version of the game, as long as you've earned them once. So let's say you play the game on PS4, you earn the platinum, you earn the 100%, all the DLC and everything. Then all you have to do is upload your save to the cloud within the game. Then you can start the game up on PS3 and download that save, or on PS Vita or whatever. Or on, of course, any of the regional stacking lists in Japan and Asia and all of those. You just load up the game, download your save, which is compatible with all 6 versions, and the trophies will just automatically pop. You'll see literally, I forget how many it is. It's something like 70 or 80 trophies will just automatically pop one after another, and this is like the most rewarding trophy set ever. So literally think to yourself, if you're struggling with the death levels, you might think, oh, this isn't worth it, for a platinum. But remember that technically those trophies will earn you 3 platinums or 6 if you've got the stacking versions. And if you check out my website with the, in the description, the trophy service website, I do offer a syncing service where I can load up your save on the foreign versions of the game, and you'll get all those trophies. As long as you've done the trophies on one version, then I do it nice and cheap. It's like £5 per sync. And yeah, I think we've spoken about sound shapes enough, because a lot of you will be fully aware of how this works. But basically, 100% the game once, and you've got access to 6, not only 6 platinums, but 6 100%s that each one has like 2,800 points. And it works out the equivalent of almost 15 platinums worth of trophies. It's absolutely insane. Literally, if you started a new account and just did sound shapes on it and synced all the versions, you'd be level 12. I think that's right, 12 or 14 instantly. Anyway, just pick that up. 249 for literally, because you're not getting the foreign version. So what is that? 2,800. That's 5,600, 7,008. Yeah, over 7,000 points In fact, no, nearly 8,000 points, PSN points, which is about 7 platinums worth of trophies for 249. That's insane. So if you haven't got that, pick it up. I think it was free at some point, so you might already own it. Sheltered does have a platinum. It's quite an easy one by the sounds of things. Not super easy, but very much doable. But it does take a while, maybe around 20 hours or so. Then we've got all these arcade game series games. These are the PacMan ones that we spoke about, Gallagher, Dig Dug. We spoke about this like triple pack during my, one of the top 10s anyway. And this one is really annoying because I bought this one. I bought the triple pack, and I've only actually got one of the games from the triple pack available to download. But they all vary in difficulty slightly. The easiest one I think is Miss Pac-Man. Oh, I keep accidentally clicking on things. Yeah, the easiest one is Miss Pac-Man. Then the other ones are all pretty straightforward. You can use a save feature to kind of save your progress if you're happy with how you're doing, and then just carry on from there if you fail. Right, we've got quite a lot to get through, so I'm going to keep moving, guys. Jetpack Joyride, was that? No, that was a difficult one. I'm trying to remember. I've kind of researched all these and trying to remember the majority of them. Let me just look at my list here. We've got Pixel Piracy. Where's that? Yeah, here we go. Pixel Piracy is another easy 100%, no platinum, unfortunately. We've got here A Boy and His Blob is a game that a lot of the reviewers and everything talk about a lot. They seem to love it. So this is a longer game. It doesn't have a platinum, so you might not feel that it's worthwhile. But it takes around 10 hours, I think, and it's easy enough. But it's a good game by the sounds of things. Only 100% trophy set, but you can check it out. Stick Bowl is another game I picked up. Looks like it could potentially be a nice, easy platinum. Quite often when people vote on a platinum that's meant to be super easy, they'll kind of be in the mindset of expecting it to be like just a brain dead game where you just don't have to put any thought in whatsoever. So they might end up voting a bit higher, like a 4 or whatever, because it's harder than they expected. But really, for those of us who are used to playing much harder games, going to jumping on something like Stick Bowl, which is super easy in comparison, will make it feel like a ridiculously easy game, even if it's not, a Telltale game or whatever. Not as easy as a Telltale game. So yeah, check that one out. Nero, we've spoken about that in one of our top 10s again. Super easy, super quick, just follow a guide. Puzzle game. Yeah, that takes about, I think I did it in an hour, maybe 2 hours, I can't remember. Now, Livelock, I was really glad to see this drop down in price. This seems to have got no attention whatsoever, which is really weird because it looks great. And I think Alien Nation, because it's very similar. We spoke about it probably a couple of months ago in the weekly Trophy Hunters update. It looks very similar to Alien Nation, and probably, people are playing Alien Nation and they've kind of not played this because it's basically the same thing. But I finished Alien Nation, got all the trophies, so I was really glad to see this drop down in price. It looks fun, co-op game, top-down shooting, I think it's like robots or whatever, sentient kind of machines and that. But yeah, it actually looks really fun, and it looks like it's probably going to be a long one. There's hardly any feedback on this, but it does look fairly easy. I think the percentage was fairly high. I think maybe it was 10 or 20% or something. We might just have a double check actually. Oh, there it is. Yeah, 20% exactly. Okay, that's a really good percentage for something that looks like it might be relatively long. Decryptal master data cards. I read up something about that. Yeah, it's this one here. It says something about finding these cards. They drop from enemies, and then you have to kill a certain number of that enemy that dropped it to be able to master the card. So it's all about stats, and that's why it's probably going to take some time. In fact, I forgot to check the completion time on this. Oh, it's not too bad. So yeah, a couple of days. Yeah, anything from like a day up to like a week maybe. So not too bad. I'm definitely going to dive into that when I've sort of caught up with some of my backlog. So yeah, check out Livelock. It looks really good. Check out some trailers. $3.99, definitely worth it. Unfinished one, another super easy 100% trophy set, and it's actually really good. Although there is one trophy in it that can be a bit tricky, but you'll have to follow a guide for that. But it's fine. You will get it done. Don't let it put you off. It's it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this game, and it's a really cool idea, really cool art style and everything, especially the first level. Push Me, Pull You. That was... Did I buy that? I think I bought that. I haven't written it down here. Oh, no, I have written it down. Yeah, sorry. It's real quick. I remember now. People said it takes about 90 minutes. Less than 2 hours. There's no platinum. So if you're only after platinum trophy sets, then you can ignore it. But it's like a 1 out of 10, an hour or two completion time, and you'll have like another 100% game on your account. Because this is a thing, like with 100% trophy sets that don't have a platinum, it still adds a new game to your account, a new bar that sits at 100%. So when people scroll down through your list, it kind of makes your list longer, and it looks better because you've got a lot more games at 100%, whether they've got platinums or not. Flower is a nice, easy... This is a beautiful game, really like relaxing and serene. And it's pretty easy. Like there's 1 or 2 trophies that are slightly tricky, but not really. Like it's probably a 3 out of 10. There's no platinum for it, but it's really good. Resogun does have a platinum. You've probably got it for free if you've had a PS4 since launch, but it's an awesome game. It's not an easy trophy set necessarily, but it's not so hard that you're going to struggle too much. Like there's one trophy that you have to complete the game or complete all 5 missions on a certain difficulty to be able to unlock the highest difficulty and then complete 1 level on that highest difficulty. Well, it's quite hard finishing the final level on the next difficulty down to be able to unlock the highest. But you can jump into a game with someone who already has the hardest difficulty unlocked and just complete it with them. So that makes the whole trophy set a lot easier because it means you don't have to really do anything on those hard difficulties apart from like the first mission, which is nice and easy. But it's so much fun. The DLC is great. DLC is really cheap to buy. And if you haven't got this, if you've only just recently bought a PS4, this is an exclusive. That is still one of the best games on PS4. I thoroughly recommend picking it up. Maybe just play it on a blank account first if you're worried about your completion percentage. And remember, this is something I'm going to talk about properly in its own video at some point. But whenever I say play it on a blank account, I don't mean play it on a different account to see if you can do it and then play it on your account. What I mean is that you set up a blank user by signing into like a new account. You know, when you're on your sign-in screen on the PS4, choose to sign in as a new user, but don't sign into a PSN account. When it gives you the option to do so, just skip it. Then you'll have a blank user or a blank login. Now, any trophies you earn on that user when you're logged in as them won't be tied to any PSN account because you're not, you haven't signed into one yet. So as soon as you decide that you've earned some trophies you do want to sync to your account, you can then sign in at a later date. And all the timestamps, everything will be the same. They'll be kept from when the trophies were earned. And you can just go ahead, sign that login into your account, and it will sync those trophies across. The one thing you do need to do is delete your original account because you can't be on the same PS4 twice. So obviously when you do that, you need to make sure you upload all your saves and sync your trophies and everything, and then delete your account and then sign in again on the new account that's got the platinum on that you earned on the blank. I'll explain that better when we look at it in detail at some point. But let's move on here. We've got, I think, Slain. Slain has a platinum, and it doesn't look too long or hard. It's not super easy, but it's one that looks very doable for anyone, really. Screen Cheat is a game I've been interested in for a while. It looks quite interesting. You kind of, it's a 4-player split screen or 2-player, whatever, and you can't see the other players on your screen. You have to gauge where they are based on looking across at their screen, which seems really cool. Most of the trophies look really easy. You can probably just boost them in split screen, but there are some that require, like there's trials that you need to run and there's guides for them, so you can follow those guides. Pardon me. But they do look a bit tricky, some of the tests or trials, whatever they're called. So you might want to kind of look into them first. But I think they're the kind of things you'll get done eventually. It's just that people might have been a bit shocked when they first tried them. It's still, like, people still voted it quite low in difficulty. Strike Vector. I think this is actually another game that I bought. Yeah, let's have a look here. Did I pick this up? Yes, I did. This looks like a potentially easy platinum. A lot of the games on this list have very little feedback to go on. But, anything you can find that sort of gives some kind of impression. I looked it up, found some kind of feedback on it, and it looks as though it's probably going to be an easy, straightforward platinum. So check that out. Shantai. Let's have a look here. Where'd I get up to? Yeah, Shantai. This does have a platinum. It's a sort of average difficulty. It's not too long. Obviously, it's longer than some of the super quick games we've been talking about. So it's long enough that you will want to kind of be interested in playing it. You won't want to do it just for the trophies. If it's the kind of game that looks fun to you, that you'll enjoy, then pick it up, because it looks like an average difficulty plat, like maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10. And I think it was somewhere like 20 odd hours, maybe 30 hours or something. Gemini is another game we've spoken about during the top 10s. Very, very easy and very quick platinum, so that's another highlight. A Battle World Kronos, was that something? Yeah, this looks like it's got... I think it looks like an easy platinum, but very long. So, if it's something that interests you, you will be able to earn the platinum for it, and it does have a plat, but you'll need to be kind of dedicated to it. It will need to be something that you're going to enjoy, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with it. Shantai, this other Shantai's game was a little bit harder by the looks of things. I think it was around a 7 or 8 out of 10. Hardware Rivals, most of you probably already have, because it was free on PlayStation Plus. I seem to remember it being fairly straightforward platinum. It does have some online stuff, I think, so you might need to kind of jump on it sooner rather than later. And that's actually going to feature in my next top 10 easiest PS Plus freebies video. Because, it was out this year, so we're going to be covering 2016 in the next video. Oh, I'm going to run out of breath at this rate. This is more DLC for tabletop racing. Rainbow Moon's a very long platinum, over 100 hours if I remember correctly. But it's a top-down RPG, like grid-based, old school style. It's actually a good game. The story in it isn't very good, but the gameplay's good. The leveling and everything is nicely realised. It's a game that I had on the go for a long time, and I still haven't finished it. I will go back to it at some point. I kind of lost interest in it a little bit, but because it's on Vita as well, I'm not sure if this is cross-buy. I don't think it is, and I think it's the same trophy set. I think it's a shared trophy set between all of them. In fact, we'll double check that. But it is a fun game. It's one of those sort of lower budget. Yeah, we've got... Okay, it looks like we've just got a stacking list from another country. But yeah, it's one of those simpler, kind of lower budget RPGs that ended up actually reviewing really quite well. And you can spend a lot of time with it. If you're looking for a value game that's going to give you a lot of gameplay, you haven't got a lot of money to spend, but you want to be playing something for dozens or maybe 100 hours or more, then this is a great one to go for. Mantis Burn Racing. This was one we spoke about in the weekly update a few weeks ago now, and I forgot to go back to it, but I was hoping it was going to end up being easy, and it has. It's another game that I picked up today, $6.49, so it's half price, and it looks fun. It looks really good. It got good reviews on Steam before it came to PS4. And obviously it's a top-down racing game rather than... It looks like you're racing from behind, like a typical racing game there. But it's top-down, a bit like Micro Machines or something. But a bit like the... What was it? Drift. The Zen Edition. The Drift game. I forget the full name of it. But they're both top-down. And they both sort of require you to master drifting from a top-down angle. But it looks good. It looks quick as well. Only a few hours. I think some people have completed it in like 2 or 3 hours. Albedo, this is another stacking trophy list that you can buy in the US or Europe. It's not worth $11.99. I don't know how they could have even ever charged that for it. I think I spent a lot less on it. But it's down to $3.69. It's a super easy, super quick trophy set. It does have a platinum. In fact, I forgot to mention, some of these games, Rainbow Moon does have a plat. Mantis Burn does have a plat. Albedo, another platinum. It's like maybe an hour or two. It's not a good game. It's really painful to play. It's really clunky and horrible. But you don't even have to finish it. So you can get all the trophies and then just turn it off and never play it again unless you stack it, obviously. But yeah, that's definitely another highlight. Bears Can't Drift is another game that we spoke about once, and I was waiting for feedback, and there's very few people. Well, no, there's people playing it, but they're not really giving much feedback on it. There's no votes, I don't think, on the difficulty thread or the completion time. But it looks like a game. I think one of the other YouTubers I spoke to, I forget his name now. He's another trophy channel, and he was mentioning that it looks like it's going to be easy, but the trophies were glitched. Now, that was the thing that stopped me looking into it further. There were unobtainable trophies. The US version was fixed first, and then eventually they finally fixed the European version. So if you want to try this out, give it a go. I'm not sure how good it looks, but it looks to be probably an easy plat. But, it remains to be seen, really. I'll need to play it myself. I might actually pick up a copy and try it out. Headlander actually looks really cool. It's like a 2D game with an interesting mechanic where your head comes off and flies around and kind of interacts with things and enemies and stuff. The whole kind of world looks interesting that they've set up. Everyone, like all humans, are living as robots, and there's an AI that's kind of enslaved everybody or something, and you're the only flesh human left or something like that. I don't know. But it looks cool. It looks like an easy plat. In fact, let's have a look here. Yeah, it does. It does look definitely like it's got the potential, at least, to be an easy and very quick platinum. And the people who gave feedback on it said, it took them a few hours or whatever. Like, I think it was like 7, 8, 9 hours or so. And they said they really enjoyed every moment. So with it being, I think, like a 3 out of 10 roughly, that's definitely one to keep an eye on, or not keep an eye on. The sale's going to be over soon. You want to pick it up if you're interested. A Semblance. This was another really fast and easy 100% trophy set, no platinum. Headhunter and Bears Can't Drift do have platinums. Sorry, I might have forgotten to mention that. Aux Layer and Manual Samuel. Aux Layer especially, this is another stacking trophy set. So you can buy a copy in Europe and a copy in America and earn the trophies twice. It takes about... I think it was 2 hours, maybe 3 hours to complete. It's a painful game to play again. When you first start it's kind of amusing because it's so bad, but once you get further into it, the novelty wears off and you just get really bored. But it's $1.99. It's a super fast and very, very, very easy platinum, guys. It's like a 1 out of 10. So this is obviously one of the ones. I think this was number 1 on my first easiest and fastest platinums top 10. So yeah, it's definitely worth picking up if you're a trophy hunter. Manual Samuel. This looks like one that might take a bit of getting used to with a very strange control scheme, but it looks like once you're used to the game itself, then the trophies are very easy. The completion percentage isn't that high. I think it's like 10% or something, but it definitely looks like one that if you put the effort in, you will find it easy. You will look back on it and think, actually, that was really straightforward. Let's have a look here. Sorry, I was just checking my list on my iPad a second. Machinarium. This was out on PS3 a long time ago. It's a non-platinum, 100% trophy set. It's very easy. You can follow a guide. It takes, I think, about 2 hours or something, if I remember correctly. In fact, I've picked that up because it's nice. It's quite a cool little game. It's a point-and-click adventure, 2D. Yeah. So, it's another very easy 100%. These here, Blues, where's episode 2 of this? Right, yeah, we got Blues and Bullets episode 2 down here and episode 1 up here. They are down to $169 from $399, but the problem is I'm not sure where the rest of the episodes are. I don't know when this released. I wonder if it gives us a date on it. Released April 2016, episode 1. Episode 2 was released... they were released together. Right. So the situation with this game is that it does have a platinum. It's an episodic game, obviously. It's a bit like the Telltale games in the sense that most of the trophies just come from completing it. And then I think each episode has one trophy for finding all the interactable items or something, or all the clues, something like that. But the problem is some games fall into this kind of this situation where they release a couple of episodes or one episode or whatever, and then although they were planning further episodes, and although the trophies have been added to the servers for the rest of the episodes, sometimes it just doesn't happen for ages, sometimes years. I remember a game, I forget the name of it, it might have been Tales from the Deep or something, I'm not sure, but one of the episodic games, it just, like, the first episode came out, and the rest, literally years went by, and eventually I think they finally brought out the rest of it. But I think it's a case of, maybe the game doesn't do that well, and they think, you know what, we're just going to scrap this and leave it. But then Sony might say to them, look, you can't leave an unfinished trophy set. So they have to go back and make it, but it takes them a lot longer because they weren't planning on making the rest because it kind of fell flat or whatever. So be wary with this one. I have actually... I think I bought them both, but I'm not going to play them because obviously they're really cheap at the moment. It's worth picking them up, and even if you never play them, it's like $1.69, it's pocket change. But I've picked it up now so that if the rest of the episodes do come out, although there's bound to be a season pass, and I'll probably get screwed over by a really cheap season pass, but you know what I mean? Like, you can just keep it in your library, and then when the rest come out, you can buy them and just earn the platinum, and you'll have saved some money in the long run by buying these cheaper now. Anyway, we're nearly at the end, thank goodness. What have we got here? I think that's basically it. That's everything I wanted to discuss, guys. So I'm not going to go back through and sort of point out the highlights again. If you want to watch the video through again a second time, or I should have recommended this at the start actually, but hopefully you guys have thought to kind of have the sale open on screen whilst you're watching this, so you can kind of grab any purchases based on what I've said about them, because there's so many games here, it's very easy to forget what I've talked about. But there are quite a lot of platinums here, quite a lot of easy platinums, several of which I've spoken about in top 10s and that I've kind of owned for a while now. And then there's some other games that, one of the things I love about these sales is, obviously I think I mentioned before the fact that with digital games, you can't buy them cheaper elsewhere. You can't buy them cheaper on retail. So you know that you're getting the best price. You know that they're worth picking up. You don't have to compare the prices to anything else. But the other thing I love is that it introduces you to some new games, because I've literally done a bit of research on every single game in this list that I wasn't already aware of. And it's introduced me to some new easy platinums. And that's one of the ways in which I go about finding, the easy platinums for the top 10 list that I put together. So, hopefully this information has done the same for you guys. It's opened your eyes to some new games that you maybe hadn't even heard of before, or ones that you didn't realize had easy trophies or whatever. And hopefully it's answered the question as to which ones of these have platinums, which ones don't, and so on and so forth. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I'm going to get back on Final Fantasy 15, which, for those of you who are wondering, has been enjoyable so far. It's a really nice world to explore. I wasn't that excited about it. I kind of was, but I was tempering my anticipation, which is always a good idea to stop yourself getting disappointed. But yeah, it's surprising me. It's better than I was expecting. So check it out if if you're interested in it, if you like your Japanese RPGs. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy any of these games that you do pick up. Hope I can earn you some nice easy trophies through this video, and I'll catch you all very soon. All right, cheers guys, have a good one.